let's address this Haiti situation. So once again, for all my people who were here last week, you go ahead and you turn your back like this, turn your body to the right. I know this might be your left, but I'm turning to the right. Turn your body to the right, extend out your hand like this, reach back and go ahead like this. Go pat yourself real quick. Pat yourself. Go ahead and get your little pat, little self-love. Because remember how I said, I may not know everything about everything, but I know some things about a lot of things. Okay. And one thing I know is that when people start speaking Spanish and claiming that they're from the DEA, especially as sloppy as they were, when president securities go missing suddenly, and when they're speaking Spanish, by the way, in the country, which is Haiti, where they speak Creole, I know that they might say they're not DEA, but I'm not going to rule that out, because if they ain't DEA, they're CIA. And if they are DEA, they're probably put there by the CIA, because we know enough about the DEA and its involvement in Central South America and just the global South in general, that it's likely that they were involved. Welp, I want to point you all to an article in the Miami Herald, who actually, for the most part, does decent work, except for when it comes to election season. But I would give Miami local media, honestly, their flowers, because they do fantastic work. And this is another piece where they did some great work. It says here, former DEA informant linked to Moise investigation turn to the agency after assassination. Oh my God. You can't make this stuff up. Really, really bad movie plot stuff. All right. It says here, a suspect in last week's assassination of Haitian president, Jovenel Moise, was once a confidential source for the U.S. Drug Enforcement Administration. Two agency officials told McClathy late Monday night. The Miami Herald and the McClathy Washington Bureau have learned that the suspect is Joseph Gerton Vincent, first arrested more than 20 years ago for filing false information on a U.S. passport application, and who went on to become an occasional DEA informant. Vincent, 55, was identified by Haitian authorities over the weekend as an arrested suspect, along with another South Florida Haitian immigrant named James Solages, 35, who until April was a maintenance director in a Lantana Senior Living Center. Both men told investigators they were hired as translators. Now, why do y'all think that they were hired as translators? Is it possibly because the people who committed the assassination were for some reason speaking Spanish? And do you think they were merely translators, or were they handlers that the U.S. government could dissociate with to guide them on their little mission? And then it now makes all the sense in the world why those Spanish speakers, when they were caught, were screaming, "We're working for the DEA. We're working for the DEA." Well, if he was hired as a translator, who hired him? And why would then the people that he was hired to translate for scream DEA? And just weird coincidence, this guy is a DEA informant. Once again, not a math scientist, people. I'm not a math scientist. I'm decent at addition, less decent at subtraction, or way less decent at division. But I'm good enough to put one and one together. Just saying. So the article goes on to say, information swirled for days, some of it first reported by the Miami Herald, about the DEA's ties to Vincent. And late Monday, the DEA confirmed only that a former informant was among the arrested in Haiti. The DEA confirmed that only that a former informant was arrested in Haiti. The subject apparently reached out to the DEA following Moise's killing, alerting officials to his link and forcing the DEA to reveal one of its sources. An exceptional development. A source close to Vincent speaking on the condition of anonymity because of the volatile situation in Haiti, which has asked for a U.S. troop presence, confirmed that the South Florida man, if I haven't heard that one before. Anyway, the South Florida man was indeed once an informant for the DEA. There's no such thing as once was an informant for the DEA. Either you're an informant for the DEA or you're dead. There is no at one point in your life. Once you become an informant or a snitch or what do they call it? A fed. When you, I mean, there's a lot of, once you're one of those, once you get put into that fold, there is no getting out, bro. That's it. But it sounds good to say former, right? In a situation where literally everyone who got arrested is claiming to be DEA. It's neither here nor there, though, I'm sure. Another news source is also demanding anonymity. Said Vincent went by the pseudonym Oliver. Agency officials would not confirm the identity of the source that they were acknowledging in unusual fashion. At times, one of the suspects in the assassination of Haitian President Jovenel Moise was a confidential source to the DEA. One DEA official said, following the assassination of President Moise, the suspect reached out to his contacts at the DEA. A DEA official assigned to Haiti urged the suspect to surrender to local authorities and, along with the U.S. State Department colleague, shared information with the Haitian government that assisted in the surrender and arrest of the suspect and one other individual. Probably another DEA guy, because the DEA got to protect its own. That man got sent right back to the United States. Do you think that, do you know how long this type of stuff takes? But he was sent back to the U.S. like that, bro. Extradition hearings don't take that long, bro. You assisted in the assassination of another country's president. Doesn't that usually mean you have to stand trial in that country first? Usually. Right? I mean, it's generally what happens. Like if somebody came over here and assassinated one of our presidents, I can almost guarantee you that man will get extradited after his 60-year sentence. That's when he would get extradited. He'd probably be dead before he got extradited. That's almost how it always works. But once again, we're supposed to just blindly accept lies that are being told to us by the official narrative perpetuated by mainstream media and this nonsensical ambassador for Haiti who claimed immediately that we can't hold safe elections until the United States interferes and gives us weapons to do so. Yeah. The article goes on to say the DEA announcement is even more stunning because of reports in Haiti that the attackers who killed the president shouted through a loudspeaker that a DEA raid was taking place. The DEA steadfastly denies any knowledge or involvement in the monumental events that unfolded in impoverished Haiti. Because why would the DEA admit that they were involved in an assassination of the puppet they put in power? Because then you got to start asking some other questions. This is wild, bro. This is wild. This is a massive story. I don't feel like there are enough people covering this. I don't think there are going to be enough people. I think Kamikat's probably going to cover it. I'm sure Steve and them are probably going to cover it, but this is wild. Interim Haitian Police Chief Leon Charles said Sunday that among the items police found in the home of Christian Emmanuel Sanon, an alleged mastermind of the plot, right, was a hat with DEA written on it and a cache of arms and ammunition. It's like they're giving us the answers to the test. And some people are still about to fail. You know that, right? And some of you might be wondering, which I would probably be wondering as well, well, I don't understand. Why would the people who are part of the institution of Haiti, the institution that allowed Moise to be president because of the masterful puppeteering of the United States, why would they allow stuff like this to get out? Well, you have to understand right now in Haiti, I think there's a little bit of confusion amongst the ranks, because the way this usually goes, people, is that you are on one of two sides. You're part of the puppet regime, and whatever that could mean, that could mean you're part of the government. You can be part of the business side. You can be part of the policing side. And it's that or you're not. But what we are seeing is that just the recently quote unquote elected puppet regime leader was just assassinated. So now no one knows what side's the right side. So this is what generally happens when you're just looking out for your own self-interest. When you don't know whose side to pick, you pick your own every single time. And that's what we're seeing here. People are covering for their butts. They're worried that if they were connected to Moise, that it's possible that the DEA, the CIA, or just the United States in general could go after them next if they were too connected. That's my guess. So it would make sense that anonymous sources start coming out. It would make sense that there would be an interim police chief who probably could be considered a nuisance until the new police chief gets there and is in the pockets of somebody that belongs to the U.S. It would make sense that he would come out and be like, hey everybody, man had to say DEA on it. Here it goes, DEA, U.S., United States. Yup, the U is capital and so is the S. That people, the DEA that belongs to them, that person had their hat in the crib. I'm just letting everybody know, not for any reason. Like, I'm not trying to protect myself or anything like that. I'm not trying to make sure that the U.S. doesn't come after me and, by making sure that everyone knows the U.S. was involved. That's not what I'm doing. I'm just putting out the information like a good police chief. Oh, by the way, there were weapons too. Weapons, ammunition, DEA hat. Just putting out the information. Y'all think that that's what police chiefs who are in the pockets of people do? No. But nobody knows who's in whose pocket anymore. It is a free-for-all. It is a melee now. And you are now seeing the ramifications of that. Just saying. It says Sonona's is a medical doctor who had worked in the Boynton Beach area, which is way up north in South Florida, past West Palm. Or before West Palm, my apologies. He appears in numerous online videos criticizing the Haitian government. Officials in Haiti allege Sonon hoped to be installed as president of Haiti in the aftermath of the assassination. Now, I want to be clear about something. Do I believe this part? No. No, I don't. Do I believe a medical doctor from Boynton Beach organized an assassination plot from South Florida with Colombians to install himself as the president of Haiti? No, I don't believe that. That's stupid. Like, why would the U.S. government work with someone whose whole goal was to overthrow the guy they put in? If anything, if that was true, Sonon wouldn't be alive, because he'd be a liability if he had that much power and that much connections to overthrow the Haitian government. Like, just from common sense, that wouldn't make any sense. And we know that they lie, right? And this looks like a good little patsy to put everything on. Right? Once again, do I believe these people were the ones who did assassinate him were involved with the DEA? Yeah, of course they were. At bare minimum. Once again, it's more likely that they were even higher than that. The orders came from even higher up than that. But do I believe that Mr. Christian Emmanuel Sanan is the alleged mastermind of the entire plot? You're telling me Sanan was able to pull the former Haitian president's security away and work with the DEA agent to get this done? Bro, come on. Come on. Todd said the U.S. equals Hydra. You're absolutely right. Whew, man, these people not even trying anymore. Yeah, man. And it's funny because I feel like Miami Herald, in their defense, had to put that in there as some type of disclaimer, because if you leave this too open-ended, then the conclusion is what? This was the U.S.'s doing. So they put all the stuff that, like, clearly this is the U.S. involved in this. And they had to put, man, yeah, I guess, and they found this guy Sanan, and you know, he was kind of the mastermind, allegedly. So, like, they're just trying to cover their bases here. It said the Justice Department on Monday night issued a statement saying the agency's initial assessment of the assassination has been completed. Excuse me. It says an initial assessment has been conducted in Haiti by senior U.S. officials. So it's going to be a very, very trustworthy response. The department will continue to support the Haitian government in its review of the facts and circumstances surrounding the heinous attack, said Anthony Coley, a DOJ spokesman. The department will also investigate whether there were any violations of U.S. criminal law in connection with this matter. Thought I just said that. I thought I just said somebody from this country was involved in masterminding it, and then another person was a translator for the assassins, also from this country. Pretty sure conspiracy to assassinate world leaders is definitely against U.S. government, U.S. law. I don't know, maybe not, but I think so. Also, I like how they're just like, yep, we conducted our initial assessment. Yep. We conducted it. It's finished. All right, so what are the results, guys? Yeah, man, we conducted our initial assessment, guys. We're finished. We're done. We're good. So the conclusion is, yep, the conclusion is that we conducted our initial assessment. We're good. We're fine. We got it. Thank you, guys. Man, somebody somewhere is going to believe this. Brian Fouch, thank you very much for the tip on Rockfin. Have you talked about the Moise link and the leaders of other countries, Africa, recently being assassinated because they refused the COVID vaccines? So somebody brought that up. I actually haven't looked as much into Moise's refusal to administer the COVID vaccines. I mean, I might do it while we're here. I mean, I don't have a reason not to. After I get through this article, we can check that out. I am familiar with the African leaders, though. I'm familiar with the African leaders. But Moise, I definitely know that would be an interesting turn of events. It really would. Because if that was the case, then it would make sense why they were so swift in taking action to get rid of him, despite him being a puppet, because of Haiti's history of kind of marching to the beat of their own drum when it comes to revolution. They're pioneers in the Caribbean and in the global South when it comes to revolution. And if that became a thing and all of a sudden you saw a bunch of Haitians get behind this right-wing guy, even though they didn't even like him, all because of him standing up to one big aspect of the U.S. empire, that's a hell of a story, man. It's a hell of a story. So I don't know. Yeah, we can look that up while we're here. The source, man, look at these guys. Whew! What dialect of Creole and Patois do y'all think they speak? Is it the Espanol dialect? Bro, man, got an army vest on. These are army weapons. This is an army shotgun. This is an M4A1 A1. No, this is an M4, excuse me. That was an M16A1 or A2, excuse me. But yeah, this is an army shotgun. Oh, bro, they're carrying droid phones. Man, we should have known. See, y'all gotta know who the bad guys are. See, if y'all watch Marvel, y'all know this. You're not allowed to actually carry an iPhone in Marvel if you're considered to be a good guy. Did you know that? They'll only ever carry droid phones because droids are for the fucking feds. And Kevin Feige doesn't like the feds. And that's why I like Kevin Feige. But look at these guys. Holy shit. Look at those Haitians. Says the source close to Vincent said the West Palm Beach man worked as a... Oh, excuse me, I skipped something. None of the 3 South Florida suspects appear to have been assigned a lawyer yet, and they have not been made available for interviews. Their versions of events or those offered by the Haitian government cannot be independently confirmed. The source close to Vincent said the West Palm Beach man worked as a paid informant who helped the DEA facilitate the arrest of drug trafficking targets, including the infamous Guy Philippe in early 2017. Oh, so just one of the few DEA informants that can speak Spanish. Like one of the few DEA Haitian informants that can speak Spanish just happened to end up in Haiti to assassinate the U.S. puppet regime president. Once again, crazy coincidences going on here, guys. Crazy coincidences, I'm sure. I don't know why they're giving me all this information about Philippe. Oh shit. Philippe leadership in 2004 coup d'etat against then President Jean Bertrand Aristide led to the president's ouster, and Human Rights Watch accused him of overseeing unlawful killings. In the aftermath, Philippe, along with other Haitian police officers, politicians, and drug traffickers, became entangled in the U.S. crackdown on Haiti as a narcotics hub for Colombian cocaine. Didn't I tell y'all I was gonna be Colombia that was involved, bro? Didn't I tell? Listen, everybody. I gotta tell y'all a secret. They don't call me Niko Damas for nothing. They don't call me Niko Damas for nothing. I told y'all this is literally gonna come out. I told y'all DEA shit was probably real. I told you that they were going like, oh man, it's going to find somebody to put the plot on. I told you that Colombia was involved. Not Argentina, not Brazil, okay? Not Mexico, not Guatemala, not Honduras, none of it. I said, it's going to be Colombia. It's got to be Colombia. Because we're talking about DEA, we're talking about assassinations, we're talking about Spanish speakers, and the U.S. is involved, it's going to be Colombia. And it was somebody who was deeply involved with catching a man entangled in a Colombian cartel, probably facilitated by the U.S. Like I said, it's not like they don't give you the answer to the test when it comes to this stuff. They do constantly. You just have to be consistent and observational enough to see the obvious, or at least what I feel like a lot of people here feel is obvious. I want to look into this. No, we're not gonna do that. I'm gonna go to DuckDuckGo. I want to look into this claim about the Haitian president denying vaccines. Before we move on to this next subject. Oh shit. Oh damn. Oh goddamn. That was the first thing that comes up. And the plot thickens. Whoo! This is the Haitian Times, y'all. Haitian president. Look at this cool guy with his arms folded in a nice shirt. That's a really cool guy looking, right? Look at that guy, man. He looks like he knows what he's talking about. I trust him. Haiti.